Hello, everyone. And thank you all for joining us for our new Edward J. Lewis II Lawyers in the Classroom program series. For those of you who aren't aware, the Chicago Bar Association's Edward J. Lewis II Lawyers in the Classroom program has existed for over 30 years. The program, which was originally a part of Constitutional Rights Foundation Chicago, involves me, Tiffany Watson, director of the program, and former teacher and administrator, placing attorneys in 2nd through 8th grade social studies, social sciences, and literature classrooms to teach students about the U.S. Constitution, their constitutional rights, our legal system, and their rights and responsibilities under the law. Now, under the auspices of the Chicago Bar Association's 501c3 since 2019, the Lawyers in the Classroom program has continued to flourish. Attorney volunteers are partnered with teachers to provide students with grade level lessons and knowledge based on real life experiences, help them develop their critical thinking skills, and offer young people an opportunity to interact with a variety of positive role models. The purpose of this series is for you to learn more about our participants in the Lawyers in the Classroom program, i.e. our attorney volunteers and teacher partners, which also, while also learning about their experiences during the Lawyers in the Classroom visits. Today, we are speaking with one of our attorney volunteers, Mr. Cameron Jordan. We're so happy to have him here. Cameron is an associate in the investment management group at the law firm Skadden Arps. He represents public and private funds, business development companies, investment advisors, underwriters, and investment banks in connection with the design and formation of investment funds and products, and much, much more. And we're just so pleased to have him here. He's been a part of the program for several years, and we're just so happy to have you, Cameron. Thank you for joining us.
Tiffany, thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about the program with you.
Excellent. So just to start things off, why did you decide to be a part of the Lawyers in the Classroom program?
Got it. Well, when I first started at the firm, you actually came in and there were a number of people at Skadden that were already working in Lawyers in the Classroom, and the buzz about it was big in our office. So heard about the program. There was a kind of conference room set up where you guys came in and did a mock lesson and talked about the program, and I was kind of hooked from the start. There were a number of us at Skadden that got involved, signed up, and I quickly was on my trek down to Inglewood and Perkins Bass, and into a 7th grade class. So initially that's what it was. It was my friends were doing it. The firm was behind it and supporting it. And it seemed like a great way for someone that had just moved to Chicago to get involved, to plant roots, to meet people and to start giving back to the community.
Excellent. And you've done such a phenomenal job. You've forged a great partnership with Perkins Bass. The students love you. And they not only get to see an attorney and they can learn more about the work that you do, but also they get to see an attorney that looks like them. So that's even more phenomenal.
It's funny. It's funny you say that. I remember going to the first lesson and being nervous that, some 7th graders were going to start making fun of me in a class. And I remember walking out and my assistant stopped me and I was just like, I'm nervous to go teach some 7th graders. And she was like, look, you're going to walk in there in a suit and tie and stand up and as a Black man in front of a classroom full of Black students. And you're going to say, hi, I'm a lawyer and I look like you. And I, am what you can be if you put your mind to it. And that really kind of energized me as I was going in the classroom and really, representation matters. So being able to be someone that the students can see and inspire them in some ways was really exciting.
Absolutely. So important for our kids to see it. So in connection with that, what do you think is kind of the benefit? What have you seen as been, the beneficial part of Lawyers in the Classroom?
So I think it's become very evident in the last couple of years that the importance of civic education, the importance of knowing what the Constitution says, understanding your rights, and understanding the kind of real life impacts of that. So that's a huge thing that was, not lacking necessarily, or kind of lacking in the public education. There hasn't been a focus on it recently. So the Lawyers in the Classroom program really puts a focus on it. It takes lawyers that have studied the Constitution and understand the Constitution and argue about the Constitution in a classroom with students that haven't got as much background on it yet. In their normal kind of everyday classroom studies are not getting in the weeds on the Constitution. So that's just a huge benefit immediately is just talking about the Constitution and understanding your rights. And then on top of that, the way the curriculum is structured, it really does. It's kind of like a mini law school class when you get in. I mean, we're not cold calling on students and have full Socratic method, but the case studies that we do, if you will, are looking at a rule, and you have to challenge that and play devil's advocate and see arguments from someone else's perspective and really challenge your views. And it really gets you thinking like a lawyer. And just because they're in the 7th grade doesn't mean they don't have those initial skills that they can build on. So overall, I think the focus on the Constitution and understanding your rights, civic education and what that means and the impact on the individual students. But then also just the ability for them to engage and kind of think like a lawyer and argue like a lawyer has been really fun and super beneficial for the students.
Excellent. Yeah, I totally agree. And you gave kind of a little bit of an experience that you had that you highlighted a second ago, but do you have any favorite experiences? You've been at Perkins Bass for a while now. Any favorite experiences that you want to share or highlight?
I mean, there's been a few. The beginning of every school year is fun. There's that kind of nervous energy when you're going in and into the classroom for the first time to meet the group of students. The students will vary in terms of kind of interest and engagement initially. And the really neat thing that happens is, all right, the first one, they're like, all right, who's this guy? Okay, not our normal class, so this is exciting. I'll pay attention. I'll engage. But then kind of, week 2, the same guy's coming back. Week 3, the guy's coming back. Oh, we have this fun lesson. We're really gonna engage. We're gonna be debating with each other. Then they get really excited. They say, oh, Mr. Cameron's here. We're gonna have a fun class. This is about to be a real fun hour. So seeing the kind of evolution of the class as a whole, but then the individual students within it, the one that was kind of quiet and reserved and didn't want to raise his hand, but had really thoughtful responses or challenges to some of the other students when you did call them. By the end of the class, they're the ones that's leading the debate and volunteering to get engaged. And you can really see how just the evolution and the kind of repetition that is built into the curriculum builds confidence within certain students. And that's fun to see kind of as you come back and see the students again and again. And then my favorite thing is just to leave some time for questions. Now they have very few questions about the world of fund formation and some of the capital markets work that I do on a day-to-day basis, but a lot of the pro bono work that I do, a lot of the work that I did while I was in law school for the Attorney General's office or in the federal public defender, there's a lot of anecdotes and stories and cases and deals that I've worked on that are really exciting for students to hear about and ask questions about. And some of the pro bono work that I've done at Skadden, be it clemency cases when I first started my career, or kind of guardian ad litem work that I'm doing now. Those are kind of topics that the students are really interested in, and the questions that come about are really exciting and lead to some really interesting discussions. And I mean, even in the virtual world, where I taught my first virtual class this year, which was pretty exciting.
Yeah.
But the students asking questions about protesting and the First Amendment and what is happening with policing in our city. I had some really, really adult and engaging conversations with 7th graders in a virtual classroom today. And that was, a phenomenal experience for me, and I really think beneficial to the students. So it's really hard to pick one favorite experience. It really has been a phenomenal ride with Lawyers in the Classroom over the last couple of years, and each year, each class, each new lesson brings about some exciting conversations and moments.
Excellent. I'm so glad that you've forged this great relationship with the students, with the school, and they see you as someone they can ask those questions freely. So the fact that they're engaging with you about these issues is this is the point, right? We want them to be able to reach out to you and ask those questions so they can get the legal expertise that they need so they can make informed decisions and thoughts about the way they look at things and the way they look at the world, in connection with the fact that they're doing these very critically thinking activities that they have to do in the classroom. So this is just fantastic to hear. And I'm just so glad that you've been a part of the program for the length that you have been and that you've built this great relationship with the students and school. And again, thank you so much for coming and having this interview with me today. And again, thank you for being a part of the program.
Tiffany, thank you. You make it easy connecting the schools and the lawyers, and the curriculum is phenomenal and already set out. It really is. You guys make me look like a star, and I don't even have to do much. So thank you. Happy to be here and speak with you today, and look forward to continuing to work with lawyers in the classroom.
Excellent. Thank you so much.